Dear Yoni and Tali, Mazal Tov on your wedding. Obviously, I'm really sorry that I couldn't be there, but I felt like obviously I had to make some sort of recording to send to you guys. And I just want to talk a little bit about my relationship with the two of you and your relationship with each other. Actually, my relationship with both of you really started through your younger siblings, both of whom tried to kill me. Yoni, your younger brother, often used to pretend that he was a pirate and try to kill me that way, whether in shul or in school or in your house or really anywhere. And Tali, your younger brother, I remember when you guys moved in when I was in 4th grade. We used to play soldiers all the time. The first time I ever came to your house, came to your house and I brought my toy soldiers and Gavi his toy soldiers and to try to kill each other with the toy soldiers. And that was the first time we ever played together. But over time, my relationship with both of you has really developed. And I remember watching as you guys developed in your relationship. And I remember the first time someone told me that you guys were dating. I remember we was in 11th grade and I was walking down the hall and you guys were sitting next to the red lockers across from the senior lounge. Those back to 12th grade lockers back then. And I remember someone told me that you guys were dating. And I said to myself, is that going to work? Like, she's going to Israel for a year, and then he's going to Israel for a year. They've only been dating for like 3 months, and they're going to both be in Israel for 2 years. Like, how is that going to work out? And I remember when we were in 12th grade, and when I was here in Israel, and Yoni was always talking to you over Skype, and always talking to you. And I would ask you, I would be like, yo, is Yoni still dating Tali? Yeah, Yoni's still dating Tali. And I remember when Yoni came back, and I remember there was a Shabbos, we had a Shalashidis at your house, Tali, when we all got back from Israel. And I remember all your friends from your freshman year in Maryland were there. They were staying with you for Shabbos. And they all came and they met Yoni, and they were like, oh, this is the famous Yoni. And we finally get to meet the famous Yoni. And I remember just seeing you guys together at that Shalashidis. It was really like the first real time you guys had spent together in really 2 years. And I could tell then that you guys really, really liked each other. And I could tell then that this was going to be something special. And I thought this was going to be something that lasted. And I remember watching the two of you grow together in University of Maryland. I remember when we were in high school, like, we were friendly. I was friendly with you two, but I was friendly with you, Tali, but you were older, and like your grade was cooler, and I was like a pretty nevy kid even for my grade. I didn't really hang out with you guys. And Yoni was from like the cool side of Ketmil, and you always had like the great hair, and like I thought I had cool hair, but I could never aspire to your hair, Yoni. But I remember as we got through college, and you both grew to be such thoughtful and such intelligent people. And when I used to go visit university, at first, when I first got to university, I never really went to visit University of Maryland. I went to visit Penn. I thought to myself, like, if I go to visit University of Maryland, who am I going to see? Who am I going to stay with? But over time, I started going to visit University of Maryland more and more and more. I remember the first place I would always go would be to your room, Yoni, or to your room, Tali, hang out with you guys. I remember I'd come there on Saturday nights and we'd sit there and we'd hang out. And it was really just great to hang out with you guys. I really enjoyed that. I remember I came and spent the Shabbos with you guys. I spent the Shabbos in Yoni's room. And it was really just like, an amazing experience to hang out with you guys. As you can hear now, there's a helicopter going overhead, which is carrying a Mazal Tov Yoni and Tali banner, which I bought, which unfortunately you can't see because the helicopter didn't fly over in the right place. But I hope you appreciate that I spent money to buy a helicopter to fly over with a banner for you guys. And I remember when I was at Hadar with you, Yoni, and I remember just really spending time watching you two grow up both as individuals but also with each other. And you both have such unbelievable qualities. Tali, you care so much about your friends. I remember in particular, a couple years ago, Shlomo Gason was having a Shalashidis, and you were very worried that no one was going to go to Shlomo Shalashidis. So you made sure we all agreed that we would come with you. We even got Gavi, who would normally be sleeping, to come with you, and we went to Shlomo Shalashidis, and it was really a special experience. And Yoni, you're such an intelligent person. You're such a thoughtful person. And you guys together, you work so well. I remember sitting in the car with you guys as we went up only a couple weeks ago, but really a couple months ago, to Gavi's engagement party. That was just such a great experience being there with you guys and with your family, which is now one family. I just wanted to end with some words of Torah. In this past week's parsha, we read Vayhi ben Soah Ha'aron, and the section of Vayhi ben Soah Ha'aron is arranged with these backwards nuns bracketing it off. And people don't really know what these backward nuns stand for, but there are many guesses. And one of the guesses is that the backwards nuns signify a stage in the development of Bnei Yisrael, a stage of transition. Bnei Yisrael was supposed to go into Eretz Yisrael at that moment. They were supposed to go and fulfill their destiny. And at that moment, they were in the stage where they were in between going from being the nation that was in the desert to being the nation that would be going into Eretz Yisrael. And there was this certain special moment where everything was perfect, where Bnei Yisrael, their attitude was perfect, their desire was perfect, and their relationship with God was perfect. And at this moment of transition, they were able to reach certain great heights that are epitomized by the backward nuns bracketing off the section of Vayhi ben Soah Ha'aron. And you guys, you too are at a moment of transition. You're going from your single lives, your young lives, your teenage lives, and now you're going to your lives of being married. And as we know, things weren't always easy for Bnei Yisrael. There was complaining, there were things that went wrong. Bnei Yisrael was always able to hold together, and eventually were able to enter Eretz Yisrael. And you two, from what I've heard, your wedding was an unbelievable wedding, and from the photos and videos I saw, there was so much simcha there. There was so much happiness at that wedding. And you two, during that wedding and during this moment in this time of the Shabbat, because you're in that stage of the backwards nuns, you're in the stage of Vayhi ben Soah Ha'aron, your relationship with each other is so perfect. Your relationship and the pleasure that you guys have, and the pleasure that you bring other people right now is at a stage of perfection, that it's so different from everything else that needs to be bracketed off by the backwards nuns. And as you go forward with your lives, things aren't always necessarily going to be easy. There's going to be times where there's difficulty, and there's going to be times where there's going to be hard things that happen. But overall, when you work together and you develop together, you're going to create something which is unbelievable. And eventually, just like Bnei Yisrael did reach Eretz Yisrael and were able to reach even more incredible levels and able to create the Beis HaMikdash and things like that, you two, through working together and through a long life of creating together and working together, you too will eventually create a beautiful Beit Ne'elam B'Yisrael, and I can't wait to get back to America to celebrate with you guys as much as possible, both before Gabi's wedding, at Gabi's wedding, and for the rest of your lives. Mazal Tov.
ובחוצות ירושלים כל ששון וכל שמחה כל חתן וכל כלה עוד ישמע בערי יהודה ובחוצות ירושלים כל ששון וכל שמחה כל חתן וכל כלה עוד ישמע בערי יהודה ובחוצות ירושלים כל ששון וכל שמחה כל חתן וכל כלה עוד ישמע בערי יהודה ובחוצות ירושלים כל ששון וכל שמחה